Petersfield's Shine Radio.
Petersfield Shine Radio, and it's Stephen and Em here, and guess where we are? Have a listen around. Can you hear the sounds? It's Butser Ancient Farm. The wind is up today, isn't it, Em?
Yeah, very much so.
And what have you got there?
I've got a cup of tea to keep my hands warm.
I went for the hot choc option. We're here today because we're recording some storytelling in the... Is this a Stone Age roundhouse?
Iron Age.
Got to get that right. In the Iron Age roundhouse. And you'll be able to hear that on Shine Radio, which is very exciting. But on the way here, I discovered, Em, that you've been to Butser Ancient Farm before.
I was 7. Yeah.
And what do you remember of that first visit?
I don't remember much, but I do remember we got to nap some flints, which was actually quite fun, although it was very cold, very, very cold. And you couldn't wear gloves because you couldn't feel the stones. So my hands were freezing.
And like today, really?
Yeah, a little bit.
It is really cold out here today. The wind is up, as we say, and we've been trying to get round the back end of the roundhouse, but obviously it's round, so it doesn't really have a front and a back, just to protect ourselves from the breeze. So you were 7 then. How did you get here from your school? What was that like?
It was a minibus from school, and I just as we were driving up through the entranceway, it's got some hedges, and I just distinctly remember those hedges. I don't know why, just random things trigger your memories.
Hedge flashback.
Yeah. Good.
Okay, so tell me more about what's happening today, Em, because I know you've been researching this.
We're having a storyteller, Red Phoenix, so they're doing sort of an event. I think it's a Christmas thing. So they're going to have roaring fire and music before and afterwards. And I think it's sort of mainly for kids, but I'm really looking forward to it. I've always liked stories.
And we were learning on the way in through the shop from the lady who gave us the tea and chocolate, and I didn't catch her name. Did we know her name? No, we don't know her name. Who, if you're listening, thank you so much for the hot choc. It's just what we need. And we were learning that it's going to be a really special anniversary year for Butser Ancient Farm. And obviously it's ancient here, but the anniversary isn't quite as old.
No, it's only 50 years. But, 50 years it's a historical museum place. It's brilliant.
And 50 years of people like 7-year-old Em coming here in a minibus with school.
I think the minibuses might have been a bit different in the 70s, but absolutely, yeah.
I don't remember coming here as a child at all, but I do remember just a couple of years ago, maybe 5 years ago, there was a movie shot right here, and it's called Arthur and Merlin. And if you watch it, and you know that it's filmed at Butser Ancient Farm, you can pick out some of the buildings, the landmarks that we see around here. But there is a very dramatic scene at the end. I won't tell you exactly what happens. Suffice to say, it's lovely to come here and see it still standing.
For me, I spent more time than I should have done during lockdown rewatching Xena, and I know Xena wasn't anywhere near historically accurate, but it's nice and it sort of looks familiar.
Well, look, we are here. We are stepping back in time at Butser Ancient Farm and looking forward to hearing the storytelling from Red Phoenix.
Hi, this is Em with Shine Radio, and I'm here at Butser Ancient Farm with Gwen, who's the events manager for today.
Hi there, yes, I've organised the Tales of Winter Magic event that's going on tonight with Red Phoenix. We've actually got 2 sessions today, and then later on this evening we have the Mummers coming along as well. And we've got the outdoor band, the Ukes of Hazard, are going to be playing music as well throughout the sessions, so that's going to be good fun.
Brilliant. It sounds amazing. I'm really looking forward to it. So how have you done this sort of event before? How long have you been doing it?
Yeah, we've run this event annually for quite a long time now. I've been here for 14 years. I can't remember when we introduced it, over 10 years ago, and it's just grown and grown. So now we've actually got 2 sessions, an afternoon and an evening one. We are socially distancing a little bit, obviously. We did this last year as well. So we've got 80 people in both sessions, whereas normally we'd cram like 150 in. So, we're really trying to keep people safe here. We're asking them to wear masks. And it's a lovely, beautiful outdoor site, and obviously there's quite a lot of ventilation in these roundhouses. So, people get sat down in their seats. We've got a nice fire roaring in the middle. It'll keep them warm, and hopefully everyone will be safe.
Does this link back to the history? Is there sort of a big history of stories in roundhouses?
Absolutely. So storytelling, as you can imagine, these days we might sit and watch Netflix. Well, back in the day with these roundhouses, they had no electricity, there was no television. So I believe that singing and storytelling, making music, making plays, all those things that you do when you're a little kid, they would have been so important for their entertainment. So yeah, we're just carrying on a really ancient tradition.
Why is it important for you to bring this event together?
I think it's really important for the community to be able to get back together, and where we've got more restrictions coming in, do you know what, let's all just get together and celebrate life right now. It's all very safe. We're all going to be sat in our seats listening to Red Phoenix do her thing, which she's very, very good at. And I just think it's really important to have that closeness and to connect with other people, even if we're not dancing on tables.
What drew you to Red Phoenix in particular?
Well, Red Phoenix when she first started out all those years ago, she was an aspiring storyteller, and she came to the farm. She actually approached us, and we've been working with her, and we've watched her grow and blossom into this amazing professional that she is today. She's even done a master's and travelled to America and done all sorts off the back of her storytelling. So it is literally her life's work and her career. And when she first came to us, it was a dream that she hoped to do. So it's really lovely to be able to support local people.
So I hear this year is a particularly special year for you.
Okay, so 2022 coming up, we are going to be celebrating 50 years, and there's lots of amazing things planned. So please do check out our website, butsancientfarm.co.uk, where you'll be able to get involved with celebrating this amazing experimental archaeology site that's right on your doorstep.
Thank you.
Well, thank you for coming along, and I hope we can see you again sometime.
I'm here at Butser Ancient Farm with members of the fantastically named Ukes of Hazard.
Thank you.
Thank you. Good evening.
Yes, we're the Ukes of Hazard. We play every Sunday at Horndean Technology College, and we do special events like this one where we're going to do some Christmas songs for the people who are coming to see and hear Tales of Winter Magic at Butser Ancient Farm.
Brilliant. How long have you been playing?
We've been playing as a band in the college for maybe, 5 years or something like that. Joe himself has been playing an awful lot longer, different musical instruments, but we all come together, pick up a ukulele, maybe do a bit of singing on a Sunday afternoon.
It's a community group, so there's lots of different people. It's mixed abilities, right from beginners up to people who've got, a lot of experience, but it's a very inclusive sort of band, and it's fun.
Ukuleles are always fun, I find. Bring a ukulele and everyone starts smiling. Yeah. So what sorts of songs do you do?
We're doing a lot of Christmas songs at the moment.
And then you've got your traditional George Formby, When I'm Cleaning Windows, that kind of thing we'd do in the summer. But at the moment it's all your typical Winter Wonderland, Merry Christmas Everybody, all the sort of Christmassy things that you'd expect to hear, really.
We might even do a Fairy Tale of New York,
Yes.
Never know.
Might do that one, yeah.
And what particularly drew you to the ukulele as an instrument?
Well, I think that the appeal of ukuleles is that they're small, so they're portable, they're relatively inexpensive, and it's fairly easy to get a pleasant sound from a ukulele with just a bit of practice and a couple of chords, as opposed to, say, something like the violin, which the first 5 years sound pretty hideous. Joking aside, I think it's ease. They're relatively easy to play. They've only got 4 strings compared to, a conventional guitar or what have you. And I think that just makes them have that extra bit more appeal.
You're talking to a violinist, trust me, it's the first 8 years. It's the first 8 years that sound terrible. Don't worry. Been there, done that. Sounded awful. So how many of you are there in the group?
That's a very good question.
15, 20, it varies term to term.
It varies enormously. On a good night when we have colleagues from Midhurst come as well, we can be well into the 20s, mid-20s, or maybe up to 30 at a time. But
and families come as well, so parents are bringing their children, or maybe grandparents are bringing grandchildren. It's an all-inclusive thing that I think a lot of ukuleles are played in schools nowadays. So it's something that we build on from that point of view, don't we?
We think tonight there'll be about 10 of us,
Yeah.
something like that.
Yeah.
So it does vary according to performance, and also according to who's had their jabs and how they're feeling,
Yeah.
and so on and so
Especially at the
forth.
moment. Yeah.
It's cold. It's really cold. How are you going to manage?
Well, we've got fingerless gloves, which help enormously. It is difficult to play one, and especially if you've played a couple of sets, your fingers start to get very cold. So it's difficult in the cold weather, but we'll do our best.
We'll persevere.
Yeah.
Yeah. We've done cold events before. I've actually got a hot water bottle in my rucksack here, so it's on my back at the moment. So that's the way I do it.
So you play the ukuleles. Is there going to be some singing as well?
There will, yes. I sing, and we've got a couple of other singers. Most people play the ukulele and they find it difficult to sing at the same time. So we've got some singers who just sing, like me. Yeah.
So what are you going to play that we can share with Shine Radio listeners?
So we've got a song called Wise Women, which was written by Marco Frankland. He was our original ukulele teacher, and he gets us to play that when we're all together, and it's about three wise women going to see Jesus rather than the wise men, the kings that did, and they're taking their husbands in disguise, but really it's the women in charge. So it's up-to-date version of Three Wise Men.
Brilliant. Thank you ever so much. Really looking forward to your performances later.
Lovely, thank you very
Nice
much.
to talk to you.
Yeah, thank you.
1, 2, 3, 4. Wise women, women that are wise, traveling incognito with our husbands as disguise. Stargazers with precious gifts to bring to the baby who was born to be king. The baby who was born to be king. You may have heard the story before. Wise men follow a star. Tell me honestly, do you believe without the women, do you think they get far? On the road to Bethlehem, following the star, we Google map directions as well. 3 wise women with not so wise men, but we promised that we wouldn't tell. Wise women, women that are wise, traveling incognito with our husbands as disguise. Stargazers with precious gifts to bring to a baby who was born to be king. A baby who was born to be king. Gold, amber, and frankincense are the presents that the boys pick themselves. Practically useless when you're having a baby, so we bought some others as well. Hot food, clean sheets, a new change of clothes, sure to make a new mom feel better. And just in case the father thinks we're leaving him out, we have knitted him the first Christmas sweater. 'Cause we are wise women, women that are wise, traveling incognito with our husbands as disguise. Stargazers with precious gifts to bring to a baby who was born to be king. A baby who was born to be wise women, women that are wise, traveling incognito with our husbands as disguise. Stargazers with precious gifts to bring to a baby who was born to be king. A baby who was born to be king. People dancing and everything.
Hello, my name is Terry Howie Moore, otherwise known as Red Phoenix, and I am a storyteller.
You're a storyteller. How did you get started?
So the unprofessional answer to that is that my nan and my dad are full of stories, and that sort of inspired me and made me love stories. Also, I'm severely dyslexic, so the way that I understood the world was through stories. It gave me a framework to understand and help me through education. And then when I was studying my undergraduate, I was in Edinburgh, and they opened the Scottish Storytelling Centre, and I went, good grief, that sounds like fun. And I started my journey on being a professional storyteller, and I've just completed my PhD in storytelling and heritage.
Wow. I might want to talk to you about career options. So Gwen gave us a little bit of history about you and your involvement here. Would you like to elaborate?
So I started my own company, Red Phoenix Storytelling and Productions, back in 2007. To get going, I sent lots of letters to pretty much anybody I could think of that might need a storyteller, and Butts Ancient Farm were the first to reply, so they were my very first professional storytelling gig down south, once I'd sort of moved down south, because the rest of it had all been up in Edinburgh. But yeah, so it was very exciting. I came here instantly, fell in love with the place, and just so much fun, so much history and heritage, and I think that stories are a great way to bring that to life so that people get really a true understanding that when we talk about history and heritage, it's not just nameless people who we have no connection to, but we start to see their fears and their loves and their wants, their hopes, their dreams, and it starts to make us feel connected through time. A little bit of a way of time travel. So my personal TARDIS.
Why do you think it's important to tell stories?
Stories explain who we are. They are a way for us to express our own life experience. They're a way for us exploring our own life experience. I think storytelling is great because it is a collaborative art form. A storyteller can only be a storyteller if there is an audience and a story. And so how the audience react to the storyteller's constantly seeing that, adjusting the story. If you see an audience particularly liking blood, guts and gore but might not like the love interest stuff so much, then you'll go in that direction. So the audience really make a huge impact on how you tell the story. And so I think that's fantastic. And the other thing I like about it is that if you have 30 people in a room listening to a story, you will have 31 versions, because you'll have the storyteller's version and everybody else's, because you will perceive that story, you'll imagine it in your own mind, based on your own life experiences, those things that make you scared or make you passionate or make you excited. So I think stories are really, really important. They help us understand the world we live in, our place within it, but also they give us ownership, even if you're a listener, over that particular art form.
You have a truly amazing get-up. Can you just describe it for our listeners?
So what I am wearing here is hopefully fairly authentic, and I say fairly authentic, it's not complete reenactor authentic, but fairly authentic Iron Age clothing. So I have my under tunic, my over tunic, my cloak, and I have a Highland deer skin wrapped around me for warmth. Sorry vegetarians, but it is a traditional, that's what they would have been wearing this time of year to keep themselves warm. And atop my head I am adorned with holly and ivy, for it is winter tales.
So tell us a little bit about what you're planning, the sort of stories you're planning to tell today.
All the stories that we're telling today are a celebration of winter and have a little bit of sort of wintry magic in them to inspire and get people to look for the light in the darkness, which would have been the tradition at this time of year, looking for that hope as we go into the darkest day of the year, trying to find that way to remember the light, call it back a little bit. And in bygone years there would have been things like the mock king, so the king of winter, and trying to please your local mock king that you would choose amongst you. If you could please him, then there was the thought that you could maybe please the real winter king, and that they might give you a short, mild winter. So that would be a very good thing back in the Iron Age period. Of course, today we all hope for a snow day so that we can go rushing out and play with snow. So I suppose the opposite is true today, but seeing as we're Butts Ancient Farm, we're going traditional today. This crown, it's not quite as fashionable as mine, but you'll enjoy it anyway. This crown will go on your head, and you shall be thus crowned the Winter King. From that point on, you are no longer Claire, you are the bridge between our mortal realm and the spiritual realm. Are you prepared for this?
I'm all over it.
Lovely! Wonderful! When Claire is crowned, we shall say, "Here comes good King Winter. Be he, she welcome, or be she not. Good King Winter,
will never be forgot. And we repeat that 3 times. So I'll do it again, and so we can practice. Here comes good King Winter. Here comes good King Winter. Be she welcome or be she not? Be she welcome or be she not? Good King Winter will never be forgot. Good King Winter will never be forgot. Oh, it's very good, like you've been practicing all year. Right, here we go. Oh, there you go. Oh, doesn't she look smashing, ladies and gentlemen? It is the new fashion of the season. Go home and wear your Christmas tree, you'll look great. Right, okay, here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Here comes good King Winter. Be she welcome or be she not? Good King Winter will never be forgot. Here comes good King Winter. Be she welcome or be she not? Good King Winter will never be forgot. Here comes good King Winter. Be she welcome or be she not? Good King Winter will never be forgot. Hip hip! Hooray! Hip hip! Hooray! Hip hip! Hooray! And thus she has now made her way across into the spiritual realm, and for the rest of the afternoon we must do all we can to keep the person formerly known as Claire very happy and cheerful.
Where do you get your ideas for your stories from?
Oh, all over. I get inspired by other storytellers. I get inspired by history and heritage. I come up with some of my own ideas. I spend a lot of time in second-hand bookshops trying to find old folk and fairy tales. But yeah, there's so many different places. Sort of also spending a lot of time in archives and finding lost treasures, which was wonderful. During my PhD, I published Buckinghamshire Folk Tales, which was filled with wondrous stories that had been totally missed off by folklorists when they visited Buckinghamshire. So it was great to be able to put that back on the map again, so people there could enjoy their stories as well as everywhere else.
Thank you ever so much.
It's been a pleasure, and well, I hope you enjoyed the stories.
It was a cold and harsh winter, as you would expect in a story like this. The snow lay thick upon the ground, and the animals, well, they shivered in their burrows and nests. It was so cold that Mouse found it had an icicle on its nose. Rabbit had icicles on its ears. Deer had icicles on its antlers. And Cow, she had icicles on her udders. It was indeed very chilly, and they were not best pleased. But not only was it cold, in a situation like that, it was also very hard to find food. But Rabbit, being a good digger, well, she thought she would go out and help. And so she started to dig. You can help me with this. Dig. Oh, she dug a lot harder than that. And dig. Oh, even that one, 2, 3. Dig. And she dug until she found not one, but 2 turnips. If you're a rabbit, that's a rare prize. The rabbit was well pleased, and immediately, because her belly was so rumbly, she ate the first turnip. Excuse me. And then she looked at the other turnip, and she thought to herself, I could keep this for myself, or I could think of others. And it is that festive time of year, so I'm going to give this to Donkey. And so off went bounding Rabbit with her turnip, and she got to where Donkey usually wanders around the fields. But Donkey was not there. Donkey was off looking for food, and so little Rabbit left the turnip near Donkey's favourite patch
to lay down in and sleep. And, well, little rabbit, whew, I'm feeling a bit cold. I think I'm going to go home and snuggle down now I've got a full belly. Because have you ever found when you've had a really nice feast, it's the perfect time for a good nap? If you haven't figured that one out, try it on Christmas Day. And so, little rabbit, she went back to her burrow, she snuggled in, she curled into a little fluffy ball, and she was asleep. Well, Donkey had been out foraging for food and had come across some nice brambly bits and a few soft leaves that had been hidden by the winter storms. And, well, by the time Donkey had finished, Donkey was full. And Donkey got back to her net, a little patch of ground, and she saw the turnip and she thought, I wonder where that came from. It's very nice, but I'm really rather full. I think I might give that to my dear friend Sheep. And so Donkey nudged the turnip with her nose all the way until she got to the place where Sheep usually hangs out. But Sheep was not there. Sheep was off foraging. And so Donkey thought, well, I'll leave it here. It'll be a nice surprise for when Sheep comes back. And off went Donkey. And a little while later, Sheep came back and found the turnip. Oh, that's rather nice. But I've just eaten. I don't need that. I know, I'll give that to Deer. And so Sheep managed to push that turnip over to where Deer's nest was, and, well, you're getting the idea of the story. Who wasn't there? Deer. Deer had gone off to go foraging herself. And, well, Sheep, being the friendly sort, thought, I'll leave it here. And off went Sheep. And a little while later, after having a really full belly from all that foraging, Deer came back, and what did she find but the turnip? And she looked at it and she went, I don't need the turnip. I'm nice and full. I know. I'll give it to my really good friend, Rabbit. And so she nudged that turnip over to Rabbit's little burrow. And she looked in, and there she saw a little rabbit curled up in a tight fluffy ball, sleeping, making little rabbity snores. And Deer nudged that turnip down the hole. And it came to a stop just next to Rabbit, and off trotted Deer. Rabbit was having lots of lovely turnipy dreams. And when Rabbit woke up, she stretched. She thought, I really wish I hadn't give that second turnip away. I'm really hungry. I could right go for... Oh, hello. How did that get there? And so, little Rabbit, she ate that turnip all the way up. And she never did find out how it got all the way around, but she was very grateful that it did. And so, by sharing and caring, all the animals made it through that cold and harsh winter. And when spring came around, well, they rejoiced when the sun kissed their cheeks and caressed their fur. And so they ate well and lived long. Thank you.
Yay.
Merry Christmas, Noni.
Merry Christmas.
To a happy, healthy Christmas.
Cheers.
Cheers. How spontaneous and fun.
You'll know that I like food quite extensively.
Really, James?
What are you expecting for Christmas, guys?
New shoes.
New shoes? Oh, okay. They're not bad. What you've got on now, are they?
Turkey, Yorkshire puddings, stuffing.
It's got to be pigs in blankets. Oh.
Have you bought anything yet?
A sausage.
A sausage? Now listen, our local traders are not going to get very rich on one sausage.
It's really, really lovely.
Really, really busy. Lots of lovely people.
We had so much fun. Everybody just came together and it was just great.
The stars burning bright on the church tower.
Merry Christmas!
Merry Christmas!
Merry Christmas!
Let's go home together.
Come home for Christmas with Petersfield's Shine Radio.
Let's go home together.
Are you particular about your stuffing? Oh, now you've put me on the spot.